Hey everybody, this is Brian from pnbhomesteading.com. We're down here in our underneath our storage area with our indoor grow tent that we grow our vegetables in and our starts. I wanted to give you another update for all the little guys we got growing in here right now. Besides the gangle of tomatoes in the back that we've been harvesting until our outdoor tomatoes are ready to eat. So as you might remember, these are the lettuce that we started. I believe this is our third week. That's the update for this lettuce. You can see it's getting pretty big. You know, it's looks really nice and healthy. Can't wait to eat this stuff. I think that's the beta salad mix. That's really good. Here we got our basil. You can see it's got its you know, first true leaves on top here. That's looking really nice. And there's that tomato back there. He's encroaching a little bit. And then we got another basil here behind the center divider. That I sure wish they had a better way of making these tents so you can have access to like the whole thing instead of just this. I mean, you can unzip the whole front of this thing, but then you lose half your tent. But we got another basil back there, and it's doing really well. There's the perennial lupine over there. It's, you know, sprouting up. So, but we've had, with the weather we had this weekend, it's been in the hundreds, so I didn't want to take those out there because I thought they'd be still a little too tender for being in that 100-degree heat. I could put them in the shade, of course, but I mean, with the temperature at 100 degrees outside and the humidity was showing about 1%, they dry out real quick, and there's not a whole lot of soil and root depth on those guys, and I wouldn't want to take them out there just to fry them and waste them off like that. But you know, they're doing real well. We got, you know, all this poinsettia over here. It's kicking along inside the tent. I mean, it loves being in here. It's 5-year-old poinsettia here in the Pacific Northwest. So if you want to keep your poinsettias around instead of having to buy one for $1 or $2 every year, I don't know if it's really worth the price on the LED space. But I mean, it's a tiny little plant. It takes up very little room, so it doesn't bother me keeping them going in here. And you know, that's our indigo rose tomato plant back there. I mean, it's still putting out a lot of new growth, a lot of new buds. Tomatoes, I mean, there's one right there that's ready to pick. These over here, they should be ripe this week. They're just turning red. A little kind of move out of the way of the camera here. We've got another little group here climbing through the wall. We've got them all up through the ceiling now, hanging off the tent. So it's pretty cool. I mean, you know, I've never had a tomato plant that I've kept alive for, you know, that long. I mean, it's a year and a month now. It's the end of June since I brought this in. I brought this in the first week of June and I set this tent up and I put it together and started growing them in a little fiber pot back there. I don't know what I'm going to do though, because it's getting so big. I was thinking about taking some cuttings off this guy and then you know, taking that plant out and then replanting into I was going to go buy some of those big black plastic pots, so that way I could have a really good permanent setup to where I could keep the tomato plant going year-round in here, and then just kind of take cuttings and then stick them back in that same pot. And then for the soil, I just keep amending it with my worm compost, and then I've got, you know, my organic compost garden soil and just regular old garden soil sitting behind me here that I use for all my sprouting, and I can just keep it going year-round. But I didn't realize that thing was going to keep going for over a year. I was just thinking, you know, it'll last over the winter and it'll probably die off in spring. But that little guy, he just keeps trucking along. It's incredible. We got the tomatillos in there. They're just kind of growing up like a weed. But you know, that's kind of the update for the tent today, this week. It's really exciting to be out there working outside, and kind of hard to want to come in here and look at these guys, but I do have to keep an eye on them because, you know, you don't want to have an accident where, you know, you have a hose blow or one of your solenoids stops working or something like that. So I come down here every night after work and check in on the little guys. And got this tomato plant over here. You can see he's setting fruit. He's crawling up the wall. I don't know what tomato plant that one was. I think that was part of the compost that I threw in here. So, I mean, I've got a, you know, a tomato back there that's turning red, but it doesn't have a hint of black on it, so I know it's not part of the indigo rose that's in there, and it's coming out of this base over here where I put compost. So I guess we'll see. I mean, I ate one of them, and they're pretty good. They're about that big, little red ones. But they almost look like a little miniature beef steak. So I don't know what those will be. I mean, maybe it's a hybrid. Heck, who knows? Maybe by putting it in the tent, I cross the genetics and call it some wondrous little greenhouse tomato. I can mark it. I call it P&B's Nata. Like my kids used to call them Naters. You know, we'll see. Probably just rambling on here. You guys think I'm nuts? I do love gardening. Oh, look at, there's a bunch of red ones back there. They're turning black. Dang. And, you know. All right, well, this is Brian from pnbhomesteading.com. I'll talk to you guys next week. All right, bye.